Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. My friends, one of the things that I truly believe is that much of the problem that we have as middle-class Americans is our mindset. We don't believe that we can be rich. We don't believe we can create enough passive income to retire. We have too many points of view that condemn all that. Now, there's even one worse step than not believing you can do it, but that is believing that no one can do it, that the world is doomed. So today I'm going to go through some emails today, all about many of these ideas and theories and topics of what is problematic. And I'm going to start with one that I think it's got so many different issues in it that I want to address all of them. So as we jump into this, I'm not going to use the gentleman's name. He's a member. He sent me an email. He just wanted to express his feelings and opinions about stuff. But I can't help but think I've heard this story many, many, many times from people, and I just want to go through it and just tear it apart, right? So the first one he says is, hey, I joined Lifestyles. I heard you on the radio. I joined up to Lifestyles. However, I've been recently laid off my job, and I'm waiting until I get a new job before I start investing in Lifestyles Unlimited. I get that in some degree. Let me cover some of this for you. If you have money to invest and you lose your job, you can still invest. People believe if you don't have a job, you can't buy real estate. Well, you can't go buy a personal residence because you need to be able to show you have enough income to make it work. But investment properties you can still buy. Now, if you don't have any personal income, you might have to buy the properties based on asset value instead of based on your credit. If you go into multifamily, you don't even have to worry about your credit. Credit means nothing. Having a job means nothing. The only thing that matters in multifamily investing is you have money to put into the deal. So that right there is he's set himself back for some period of time because he feels he can't invest without a job, right? Not true. There are ways to do it. So there's one holdback, right? Now, how many holdbacks can you have in life? Let's go on. It says, I've become skeptic of the stock market, and I have gotten most of my money out of there. Before hearing about Lifestyles Unlimited, I had considered gold and silver or some type of commodity-based investment, but I'm sure real estate is the way to go. All right, so he's gone through this mental gyration of thinking about gold and silver and other types of commodities. Guys, commodities don't do anything for you. I've never seen anybody get rich by commodities. I did a seminar one time. Actually, it was a panel, and it was like a Fox panel it had real estate experts, it had investment experts, it had money experts, it had gold, silver experts. They're all in this panel. They were going down the run saying, well, tell me how what you do is going to make money and how you see the market in the future and what do you think is going to happen. And somebody got up there and said, well, gold because of 8,000 reasons, which this guy actually goes through, by the way. And I said, look, gold, silver are pieces of metal. They are not going to make you rich. They don't build anything. They don't house anything. They don't do anything. And they don't pay dividends. Oh, my God, the panel went upside down and crazy. And the guy, especially the gold guy and the silver guy, and I said, look, I'll prove it to you guys. And so I went to the audience. I said, audience, tell me this. You all know 200 people. That's how many people everybody knows is 200 people. Do any of you know somebody who bought gold or bought silver and got rich? Now, let me clear. I didn't ask, do you know anybody that's rich who bought gold or silver? No, I'm asking anybody that wasn't rich, bought gold and silver, and got rich. You could hear a cricket in that room. And I looked over to the gold and silver guys, and they were devastated. I said, see, there's the proof. He goes on, believe it or not, after he comes back and says, I believe at this point, no matter how bad things are, in the U.S., we are still perceived as the most stable place in the world to invest. Well, yeah, exactly. The problem here is that even though he understands that, perceptually, he's still stuck. And I don't know how many millions of Americans are stuck by this perception. Let's go on and read the last paragraph. If we were to arrive in that situation, is there a way to shield ourselves from the government taking us? Okay. Is there a way to shield yourself from the government? No. You've seen it happen with Trump. If you allow the Democrats to stay in power, and the only way you're going to get out of this mess that we're in is to vote the Democrats out, vote in Donald Trump, and change what's going on. Now, you may hate what happens when Donald Trump comes. If you're not a Republican, you know, if you're a Democrat, you might go, oh, my God, the world will end. No, that's what you think. Right now, Republicans think the world's going to end. And in this scenario, what you have to understand is that the people that are in power are creating all of these problems. These are not normal problems that just arise out of daily life. These are people thinking these problems up and created them, right? And there's no way to stop the government if they want to get it, if they want to get you, and if they want to turn you around. And just think about Donald Trump. He's a billionaire, and they're socking him 5-6 different lawsuits. It's costing him mega millions of dollars to defend against these untrue lawsuits. All of them are. I mean, I don't care what you say. And it's never been done before. But now they're using this lawfare. That can get anybody. The government can take everything you have and put you in jail. There's no way to stop it. So the only thing you can do is vote those criminals out of office and put the people you like in office so that doesn't happen. Good people are out there, guys. There are good people in our society. Vote the good ones in, vote the bad ones out, and you won't have that problem. But I'll tell you this, gold won't help you. Silver won't help you. But these problems start occurring, they'll find reasons to take your gold and silver. They won't let you use it. They'll go to an all-electronic currency. And the electronic currency will not allow you to use gold or silver. And if you do, it's in the black market. And then if they find out you did it, they'll arrest you for using money on the black market. So you understand what I'm saying? If you really just let this country turn into a socialist or communist country, there's nothing you can do. Having a gun, I have many guns and lots of ammunition. And the bottom line is this. If they send 2 or 3 SWAT guys after me, I can only shoot one gun. These guys are coming tacked up. They're the best in the world. There's no way I can defeat even 2 or 3 guys against one guy with guns. You follow me? Plus, they've got grenades and they've got everything else, shielding and protection, whatever. So, hey, let's just let that go because it's not going to do you any good. All right, the next one I want to get to here is, it says, hi, Del, we have $35,000 and can't purchase real estate till next year for reasons too complicated to put into this email. You think spending the money on gold and holding it till next year would help protect against inflation? Would gold be better than just holding the money till next year? If gold goes up, value seems like they'd have more value for the money next year to use. We see no end to the sight of inflation. All right, guys. Inflation has existed forever. It's higher now than it was when Trump was in office, but everything inflates. It's just the nature of the beast of the way we create money in the U.S. and the way they create money around the world. Paper money is fiat. It's not real. It doesn't have any value to it. So you place value on it by what you're willing to buy with it. If money was a gold standard like it was before Richard Nixon changed it, then money had some value. You go cash it in for some gold or some silver, then you wouldn't have that massive inflation because it would be tied to something. But it's not tied to anything. So inflation is there. Now, buying gold, buying silver is not going to protect you from inflation because what you're losing is income. I have savings accounts right now. I guarantee you this is true. I have savings accounts right now that earn me 5.25%. So why would I give up 5.25%? Some real estate deals only earn 5.25%. Why would I give up the 5.25%? Now, the real estate deals I get into are all earning anywhere from 8 to 50%, right? And when you average that out, it's well in excess of the 5%. So I would want my money in real estate. But during the times when the money is just sitting there, I'm putting it in a savings account. Why savings and not CDs, or why not bonds? Bonds tend to fluctuate too much. A savings account goes up when you get paid interest. It doesn't go down when bonds fluctuate. You say, well, the value of what you can buy goes up and down. Yes, it does, but you don't feel it because we're buying stuff leveraged. So if we're going to buy $1 million property and it goes up to $1.5 million, it goes up because there's income that's inflated that created. The value of a commercial real estate is based on its income. For it to inflate in value, you have to have an income increase, or you have to have a cap rate reduction, which is people just throwing money after money after money after money. And in that case, when that's happening, you're not buying in those markets. We just came out of that kind of a market. I didn't buy except stuff that wasn't affected by that market, by the way. All right? So, guys, gold isn't the solution to this problem either. Let's go on to the next one. Is there a way to avoid capital gains tax on the sale of a house? You will avoid capital gains tax if you profit on the sale is less than $250 for a single filer, $500 for a married filer, provided it has been your primary residence for at least 2 years. What's interesting, he's just saying, is this true? The answer is yes, this is true. If you own your own personal residence, you cannot do a 1031 exchange. However, you could turn it into a rental property, and after 2 years of being a rental property, you could do a 1031 exchange. Or if you have not used your personal deduction yet, you can sell your personal residence, and if you're single, you can earn up to $250,000 tax-free on that personal residence. If you're married, you can earn up to $500,000 tax-free on that residence. Most residences have gone up that much. So it's pretty much across the board. If it's your first home and you made a lot of money on that home, you're going to be able to get that money out tax-free. So the answer to this is yes, it is true. But keep in mind, even if you don't use that, you can go on and turn it into a rental house, and 2 years from now, you can then turn around and do a 1031 exchange, which is where we sell one house and move the capital gain into the next house, or property, or land, or apartments, or whatever real estate we want to buy. Take a short break. Be right back with the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Teaching you with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
The world is changing rapidly. It's time you take action and become a part of something bigger. Learn a new roadmap. The roadmap to retirement through real estate investing. Learn from the best. Lifestyles Unlimited for the backup you need to succeed.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. So if I were to ever get in trouble, I could call, a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lisa appreciates having Lifestyles Unlimited educators and mentors in her quest to retire in 5 years or less.
It's basically just having the mentors behind you.
Join Lifestyles Unlimited today for $297. That's 60% off the regular price of the Lifestyles Unlimited Financial Freedom Program. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Today we're in the mailbag, and the next email is interesting. It says, thank you so much for doing what you do. It is always great conversation while on the road. I have been in business for over 40 years, and I'm winding down that period of my life. I still have a strong income for the next year or two, but my intention was to take liquid cash I had in buying single-family homes and convert them into multiple rentals. Now, for at least the last year or two, the market is so out of whack, in my opinion, that it doesn't pencil out, especially with the cost of materials. All right, so this guy lives in California, but I want you to listen carefully to what he's saying and who he is, right? I'm in San Diego area. I don't really want to travel far or have arm's length ownership of properties. I have a bit of construction background, and I'm knowledgeable enough to be able to know how to build and maintain properties. I would eventually hire a manager, but for now, I'm just looking for a way to get into the market locally if possible. My question is, how many units would it take to pencil out in this area? How much cash does it take to get into the market units and make it worthwhile? All right, so this guy's in San Diego, and I wrote back to him, and I basically said, sir, I'm sorry. We don't buy real estate in San Diego for a couple of reasons, and you really need to understand. Remember, this guy, he's got some kind of a building fetish. Hey, I've got that too, but I don't do it for, I don't go out and spend all my money investing in real estate and become a builder to be a builder. This guy wants to build something. And if you're born with a hammer in your hand or an engineer ruler in your hand, everything in life looks like a nail. Just build something, right? The numbers don't pencil out to build stuff, as he's saying, and make a profit on it. And what he really doesn't understand is he wants to own real estate in San Diego. This is the worst state in the country to own rental real estate. First of all, the prices are so high that you can't cash flow with it. You can't get enough leverage to make it make sense. So there's no way, as this gentleman says, he can pencil out enough income from the properties in San Diego to retire. It's just not going to happen. Secondly, which is not even brought up in the conversation, is that San Diego and California are the worst place to own rental properties because of the laws. They are tenant-friendly, not landlord-friendly. In fact, they're not only tenant-friendly, they're friendly to squatters. The laws in California allow a squatter to go into your house. Now, I know you people in California, I know you liberals in New York, you believe this is the law of the land and this is the way it should be, that squatters, you can't kick them out. You guys are out of your mind in these states. So, myself, I'd rather visit those places if I want to go see stuff, but live somewhere else where I don't live under the tyranny of that type of rules and laws. This guy, I talked to him, he's going to join up, and he's going to buy real estate in other states. He gets it, luckily for him. By the way, San Diego, I have lots of members. All up and down the California coast, I have hundreds, if not thousands, of members in California. It's one of my strongest states of membership, because the people out there understand how bad the real estate investing is, how difficult it is. They sign up with us so they can do real estate investing around the country. The bottom line is here is that you can't do this in San Diego, sir, and he knows that. He figured it out. This last email is very, very, very important. I hope you will not leave during the discussion of this last segment. The email starts, "Hi, Del. I often enjoy listening to your show while driving. A couple of times I've heard commercials where someone says brokers don't want you to know. I'd like to ask you to reconsider that statement. I'm a broker and I do want people to know. I also want to join your community because I believe in the value and education you offer your members." Okay, so yeah, I spoke to the lady and said, yeah, please go ahead and get signed up with us. But what she's losing here, what she's missing in this, is that there really is something the brokers don't want you to know. And she isn't aware of it probably, but I'm going to explain it very clearly for you right now. What is it that brokers are lying about? Because they are flat out lying, okay? And that is what cap rates are, and that is what different types of real estate. When I started in real estate 35 years ago, there was A class, B class, C class, and D class, which we called no class at all. The reason there were different classes is because people were not willing to pay the same price for bad real estate as they were for good real estate. So in doing so, they would segment the properties up into A class, B class, C class, and say you pay more to buy A than you do to buy B. You pay more to buy B than you do to buy C, and you pay more to buy C than you do to buy D. Well, what's happened over the last 5 years to 6 years or so, the real estate brokers have completely eliminated the concept of, number one, classes of real estate, and number two, cap rates. Now, cap rates exist. There's something that occur. If you go buy something and it has a certain amount of income and you pay a certain price for it, that creates a return. Cap rate, actually, the number is taking whatever your property value or whatever your income, net operating income is, without there being debt service on it. Just take the net operating income before debt service and divide it by the price, and that's your cap rate. Right? Now, on selling, you got to reverse that issue. Take whatever your net income is and then divide it by a cap rate. So I want to ask you a question. And this is what no one can answer for me. Brokers just start crying when I bring this up. They don't know what to say. So listen carefully. If I have a property that creates $100,000 worth of income and I sell it for $1 million, that's a 10 cap rate. All you have to do is divide the 100,000 by 0.1, which is 10%, and it's worth $1 million, right? So there is a direct correlation between price I pay and the income. Now, if, on the other hand, I pay $2 million for that same piece of property, I'm now at a 5 cap rate. You take the 100,000 divide by 0.05, and it's $2 million. Now, that's A class, and the bottom one's a D class, and A, B, C fall in there somewhere in between the two. Now, here's the part the brokers won't tell you the truth about. They're lying to you, all right? If I were to ask you, as a normal human being, I've got $100,000 worth of income, but the property is brand new, or the property is 50, 60 years old, would you be willing to pay me more for a property that's brand new than the property that is 50, 60 years old? And the answer should be yes, of course I would. Well, there you go. If it's brand new, it's a Class A, and you're paying double what you would pay to buy the same property as a Class D, right? Now I ask you again, $100,000 worth of income. What if I had a property that was completely renovated? Maybe it's the same age, 50 years old on the other one, but one of them is completely renovated. All new siding, all new roof, all new air conditioners, all new everything, right? Would you pay me more for that than the one that is 50, 60 years old with no renovation? And the answer should be yes. Would you pay as much as a brand new property? No. But would you pay way more than the property that's not renovated? Yes. And therein lies a Class B or Class C property in good condition. Now, let's say that property has just been maintained but not totally renovated. Well, that puts it in the center of the list, which would probably be a Class C. So non-renovated 50, 60-year-old property is a Class D and should sell for 1 cap rate. And a Class C is a property that's 50, 60 years old that's not been renovated but maintained, whereas the D hasn't been maintained. It's just a piece of garbage, right? The C's been maintained, but it's 50, 60 years old. A Class B is that same property that we went in and completely replaced everything. All new countertops, all new backsplashes, all new cabinets, all new air conditioners, all new roof, all new driveway, put in a new playground, put in a dog park, resurface the swimming pool, new decks, new lawn furniture, all new appliances, all new air conditioners. Everything is brand new. It's not an A. It's not brand new, but it is now a B and should sell for more than that C by a lot, but not as much as an A that's brand new. Now, this is very obvious that this is true, but brokers made it all disappear, and they started selling dumb people, unsophisticated syndicators, people that just heard about this on the internet, saw guys like Grant Cardone out there bragging how much money he's making, and without any education, without any information at all, they just went out and started buying real estate. And so anything they saw, the brokers were saying, well, this sells for a 4 cap rate, or it sells for a 4.5 cap rate. ridiculous prices, even for Class A's. The prices were even too high for Class A. It got down to 3.5 cap rates in some cities, right? Which doesn't make sense because the interest is higher than that. And that's the only reason they could get down that low, because interest got down to 2.5. But the reality is the way it should work is a Class A should be about a 5 cap rate. And obviously, if interest rates are now 6 or 6.5%, they're not even going to cash flow. So Class A should not be transacting right now. If you're smart, you'd hold on to it because it's worth more than what you can sell it for, because they can't get a loan on the deal unless they pay cash for it or pay 50% down and get a loan on only 50%, which is what people started doing. They started buying properties putting almost 50% down. And that, my friends, is the total lie that the brokers are telling you at this point and have been for the last 5 years. Have a great day, and remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle. See you tomorrow.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley Radio Show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.